Hi, the next video in our series on the Triax TR112 Saorview set-top box is to be able to use the Saorview, to be able to use the PVR facilities on it. Okay, so it's a PVR ready box here. The previous video in this series covered how to add on the USB key. So a USB key or a hard drive can be added on to the USB port at the back of the box. Just quickly demonstrate there. You can see it installed. It's marked FAT32. And what we come along, it can handle either format, NTFS or FAT32. So if we come along here and we're looking at television here and we'll say the doorbell rings, I can simply come along and press pause. Time shift, not enough memory, time shift anyway. Yes. Okay, so this is coming up now because we have a USB stick in it. We wouldn't have it with a hard drive, and it's only a 2 gig as well. Okay, so it's just paused there now. What it's really warning us there is it can't hold a large amount of recording here, no more than maybe about an hour or so. So we can see here it's paused, and if we want to see how far behind live television we are, if we come back in a minute later, we simply come along here. And I'll just show you the buttons that we're going to use here. The main ones I'm going to be using here are the information button, the pause and play button, the stop button, the media button, and also the EPG button. So if I come along now and press information, I can see here that there's a 36 second delay between where we are now and where we were previously. Now if I want to resume play, I can simply come along here and press the pause play button together, and it simply comes along. And now we can see here that as we're doing this here, it's staying at a steady 46 seconds behind because it's recording and playing at the same time. Okay, now we're into an ad break here, so what we might say to ourselves is we'll just forward on. So we use the arrow forward, arrow back buttons here, so there are double arrows on either of them. So if we forward along here, we go 2, 4, 6. Or we can go backwards here, and if we rewind it to the very start of the recording, what will actually happen is once it gets to the start of the recording, it simply kicks straight back into play mode, which is quite convenient. Now if I'm pressing it forward here and constantly going forward like this, we can see here that we're catching up with live television quite rapidly here. Once it hits real live television, it'll actually kick in. Okay, and I can just press play here to play back, let's say, if I'm interested in the weather. And if the weather is over now and I want to flick out of there, all I do is I simply come along and simply hit the stop button. And that'll flick us straight back. Okay, so that's a way of getting out of that. Now if I flick to, if I just say I'll flick over to network 2 here, which is in high definition, I can simply hit the record button here, initializing the device. And it's actually started recording here, okay? Now, just to demonstrate this, a cool feature is that we can flick to a different channel and we can look at the other channel as we're recording this, so that's a very, very handy thing. So when we flick back, we can still see it's recording here. Now, if we hit the record button again, we can actually hit the time duration that we'd like to record for. So we could put in that we want to record for, the next hour or whatever like this, and it'll, by entering that date there directly, it'll record for that period of time. If I wanted to stop the recording here, once again I can simply hit the stop button. Do you want to stop recording? And we'll say yes and press enter. So the recording now has stopped. So if I flick channels and now flick back, we'll see that there's no record thing being given here. So we're not actually recording. Now a third way of recording would be to actually go into the EPG functionality. So we're looking at the EPG, and we see either this program or the program after this would like to record. So we'll just say we can see that Ireland AM we find very attractive for whatever reason and would like to record it. We can come along and press the green button here, and we can just go, do you want to start recording now? And you could click yes, and it'll start recording. Or alternatively, we'll say we can just hit the EPG again here. And we could see that there's a program later in the day on network 2 that we want to record, and we can simply hit the green button here as well as a reminder, and then further as a record here. So the record symbol is given on. So now we've set it that when that time comes, it'll record that program onto the hard drive for us automatically. And to turn it off here, we just hit the green button, and now we've the record procedure knocked off. So that if we exit out of here now by hitting the EPG button again, we can actually stop this by simply going and hitting the stop. Do you want to stop recording? We'll simply say yes and press enter. Okay, so at this stage here we possibly want to look at what we're after recording previously. So what we do here is we press the media button here, Now this is the full media suite is in here, but I'll just go to the record section here. So with record manager is where I want to go. At this point we want to arrow down, so we're highlighting this here. And now what we do is we come along and we simply hit the enter button. And please wait. So we can see here there's 3 programs we recorded earlier in a way. There's the one that we paused, there's the one that we recorded, and then there's the one that we recorded through the EPG. But only the ones that we actually hit the record button for are kept. And the ones that we simply had paused are not saved onto the hard drive. Now this is quite different than other media players. And in a way I think it's better, because normally we'll say, if you're pausing television and that, why would you want that information stored onto the hard drive? Unless you explicitly say, please put this on my hard drive, it won't do it for you. Okay, so what we can do then is we can simply come down to one of these programs here and just press, and then we can just play it back. So what I'd say on this media player thing is that almost everything else that comes with the PVR and things, functionality on it, like, I mean, it's certainly good and things like this, and it's easy to use, and we found it relatively intuitive, and there's an excellent manual that comes with it, all the rest of it. I would have said with some of the cheaper generic MPEG-4 boxes, probably their PVR facilities on it slightly better, but having said that, it's still very, very good. So that's it. What I hope, anyway, a fairly comprehensive overview of the PVR things. If you have further questions on it, you can of course experiment or use the manual on the thing. Okay.